I was so excited to get my results today that I just don't, I didn't want to wait, and I really wanted to bring this to you today. So we're going to be talking about my DNA results. So if you saw a couple weeks ago, I did a DNA video of me doing the swabs so I could send it off. And I was super excited at that time to get this done. And now that I have the results, I'm just even more excited to be able to share with you not only what I can learn about myself, but the ability to completely impact people's health in so many different ways. It's super exciting. And this just is really going to revolutionize the way that people can take their health and their wellness to the next level. So, when I coach people, I use what generally works for the majority of the population, but if you don't fit into that box, right, then we have to kind of play and trial and error and try this and try that and find things that are going to work. And this just completely eliminates all of that. And I knew in theory, what types of things this testing would test for, but when I actually got my own results, I was just really blown away. So for me, I know my body pretty well. So I competed in a competition and I strength trained and I had lost my own weight. So I know a lot about what my body does and doesn't do. But for people who are either starting on a brand new journey and, they have a particular goal, say they have a wedding in a few months and they need to get down pounds quickly, or they have a particular health issue that is really impacting their overall health and wellness that they really need to improve really quickly, then we have the ability to make changes and be very efficient with that. Or we have somebody who's really struggling. So if you know somebody who's been trying to lose weight and they lose weight and then they gain it back, or they just aren't successful and they see other people losing weight and then they're just not reaching their goals, it's really easy to get frustrated in that process. And I work with a lot of people who experience that, so I totally get that. So this enables people to do that, to be able to reach those goals a lot quicker, a lot easier without all that frustration and trying to figure stuff out. And beyond that, when you're just talking about overall health and wellness, so if there are things that we can prevent down the road, and I'm going to use a couple examples from my own testing to be able to show you what that would look like. So there are so many things that the DNA tests for. The idea is really about overall health and wellness, particularly focused on types of nutrition and exercise that's going to be able to help you. But in addition to that, we're also looking at, of all the things, so muscle performance, fat loss with exercise, aerobic potential, the potential for injury, how your body recovers, how your body metabolizes carbohydrates and fats, your body weight, so the capacity for what is your tendency to be overweight or obese, your weight regain, your appetite, your addictive tendencies and impulse eating, bitter taste, your cholesterol response, inflammation, response to lactose, how you metabolize caffeine and alcohol. They look at a number of vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, B6, folate, and B12, how you metabolize those. And then it actually gives you recommendations. So it gives you recommendations for carbs and protein, your glycemic load, fats and oils that you should be having in your diet. It actually give you workout recommendations. So like an actual sample workout they give you based on your results that you can immediately put into place. So cool. So in summary, so I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I learned about, and then I'm just going to go back a little bit and just kind of give you some examples. So two things that I learned I think were really important for me, one of which is my capacity for injury. So I have a particular, I'm going to go to that now. I have a particular protein that causes loss of my collagen in joints. So I have an increased likelihood for Achilles injuries and soft tissue injury. Now, I take collagen, specifically joint collagen. I've been doing that just because of, first of all, for my age, and also because I do a lot of weight training. And when I first started weight training for my competition, my knees would crack and crackle and stuff. So I've been on the collagen for that. And so now that I stayed on that because I like it. It's been working really well for me. But when I actually get this test, so the gene is MMP3 gene, and it's protein in degrading cartilage and similar tissues. So So now that I know that, then I know that I'm going to stay on my collagen supplement, or if that's something that you're not already taking, it might be something that you can help. So if you can think of somebody that you know who has difficulty with their joints, they have arthritis, they have really worn down joints, you know how hard it is for mobility, and mobility is so important in order to be able to stay active and to be able to stay, to exercise and all that to help with our weight as we get older. So if they could have maybe 20 years ago known in advance that they had this, predisposition, would it have helped them to be able to take steps in advance to maybe prevent or, allow that to, if it was going to happen, kind of prolong that? Is really great information to be able to extend our, functional ability, which is going to increase not only our quality of life and our quantity of life as well. So that's really important for me, and so I'll know that I will stay on my collagen, and if I wasn't, then that's something that I'm going to look at supplementing to be able to help me out with that. The other thing is that it mentioned that I have an increased potential for inflammation, which I thought was interesting, and so they make recommendations in terms of fish oils. Now, I personally don't like fish. I don't like seafood of any kind. I know, don't judge me. A lot of people on there, I'm sure, love seafood. But yeah, my son's in the background, he loves seafood, but I don't. So I definitely don't get enough fish oils, and they recommend high concentrations that help out with inflammation. So that's obviously something I'm going to need to supplement my diet with my nutrition, because that's not something that I consume, and that is a particular risk for me. So I want to really be careful and make sure that I'm doing that, right? So these are all very natural supplementation. We're not talking about crazy medications or anything like that. They're very easy things that we can incorporate into our plan. So a couple things that it told me that I kind of already knew, but a lot of people don't know, and that's what I think is so amazing about this testing. So, you hear about different kind of fad diets, keto and all that kind of stuff, and obviously there's some people that they're going to, have a decreased sensitivity to carbohydrates, or high sensitivity to carbohydrates, meaning when they metabolize the carbohydrates, they don't do it as well as somebody else. So they're going to kind of retain those carbohydrates, not burn them off so well. Where other people are going to be able to metabolize fats really well. So that might be somebody who can handle a keto diet, or a keto diet might be more appropriate for them. Now for me, I metabolize the carbohydrates very well, which is really evident in the type of way that I eat, because I eat carbohydrates to fuel my workouts and that kind of thing. Whereas I keep fats on the low side, and the actual DNA was reflecting that. So it actually showed me that I do metabolize carbs well, and fats I do not. So that's something I need to continue to do. So I'm going to go to it's like a 46-page report. I mean, this is like seriously no joke. So this one I particularly like, and I'm going to turn it around so that way you can actually see it. So this is about exercise. All right, so hold on. You don't need to still keep looking at me. So this is about exercise, and this shows, which I thought was really cool. So I have the Sprint gene. It's called the ACTN3, and it is found exclusively in fast twitch type 2 muscle fibers. And these muscle fibers are used to generate explosive movements required for speed and power. And so if you saw my post earlier today when I said there's a reason I don't like to run, and this is exactly the reason that I don't like to run, because this is not conducive for endurance type activities. So the types of things training that I do is the perfect training for me, because it's strength training. It'd be good for anything that requires speed and power. So maybe sprinting rather than a long-term or a long, when I was prepping for that 5K, it was like torture, running on a treadmill for 40 minutes. So the types of training that I do, both teaching HIIT classes, doing Strong by Zumba is perfect, as well as strength training. And that's just because I've been doing it for the last 2 years. And, things that we tend to like to do are probably things that we're good at. But that might not be something that straight off the bat when you're just kind of starting and getting into an activity. So they gave me here, try to see where the workout is. So it talks about the gene there, and body fat and training. It's here somewhere. Hang on. Here's the injury. So this is what I was telling you, that I have the moderate risk for for injury there. Recovery time, so I have fast recovery, which again is pretty indicative. I mean, if I really do a killer leg workout, I'll definitely get some pain between my muscles, which is normal. But in general, I recover pretty fast. This is my carbs, so I have a low sensitivity to carbs, so I burn them off pretty well. It actually gives you some sample diets and getting the amount of carbs and the glycemic index that they recommend for you. So they have kind of little sample diets, which is really nice because it is so applicable. So it's not just getting these results and having you figure it out. Obviously we're here to help you along the way, but it really gives you a lot of tangible, concrete stuff to utilize here. And so this is my fat. So I have a medium sensitivity to fats. Still trying to find these workouts. Body weight, so this has your susceptibility to obesity. And I'm sure I probably missed it. The likelihood of you regaining after you've lost weight. Appetite. So a lot of the areas just kind of genetically end up in the green area, which is makes me happy. But even if not, it's good to know that, and things that we can do to be able to maximize the potential that we do have. Cholesterol is a bit of an issue. Again, from my family history, that's also pretty indicative. So just getting a lot of affirmation about things that I already know. And then finding out some things that I didn't know. So this was the inflammation that had the increased risk. It's in that red area right there. It talks about the specific genes that are tested and then the recommendations. So the blue area is where it gives your personalized guidance. So specifically based on your results, what they recommend to be able to help with that. There's a lot of people that I've heard about who didn't realize they were lactose intolerant, and after they took the testing found out that they were. I am not, which is nice, but some people did find that out, and then when they're able to make those adjustments, they're able to really see some improvements in their health. So this is caffeine, so your sensitivity to caffeine, so how you metabolize that. Again, important information to know. Same thing for alcohol. So all of those test pretty good. Most of my areas for vitamins are just standard requirements, meaning I metabolize that vitamin in a normal way. So if it takes it longer for you to clear it, then you tend to need lower levels. And if you clear it really fast, then you need higher levels of that vitamin. Vitamin D is also good. I think the one that was a concern a little bit was vitamin B6. So the gene for that is the NBPF3 gene. So it's a protein that causes the vitamin to be cleared out of the system quickly, which is really important for neurotransmitters. So serotonin, norepinephrine, all those, happy hormones. So, when you think about that, so when you think about people who maybe have history of depression or have depression depression and or anxiety in their history, this could be something that allude to that. And that is certainly something that has been experienced for me. So it's kind of helpful when you starts to make sense, in things that you've experienced in your life and how you can do things to optimize. So if you can optimize your mood by taking some extra vitamin B6, I think it's just really awesome. So it was in the aerobic potential. So this is your ability to handle metabolic stress, which is in the kind of average range. So they said, high intensity and interval training is good, would be conducive for me, which is good because that's the class I teach. So they give you a little sample workout here of hit for 28 minutes, doing 3 rounds, 45 seconds with a 15-second rest. So they have a couple of workouts there. And then a couple other examples of things that you can do. So you could literally get this report and then you could, put it into use right away by being able to make modifications in your diet, and, exercise right away. So that's kind of my report in summary. Obviously, like I said, I'm here to answer any questions, if anything I can help you with, or if you want to learn more about it. I'm super excited about this and just really excited about being able to help so many more people with their health and their wellness. And, if there's anybody, that's really struggling with particular health issues, maybe their doctors told them, they're at risk for diabetes, or they're diabetic, or, they have heart conditions or whatever, this would be a really great, test for them. It's super important for, health and wellness to be able to really, to really put the attention that you need to into doing it. And I think that having testing that can be done like this to be so specific, I just think is really super helpful. So I'm excited about helping a ton of people be able to do this and being able to kind of take my own results and putting them into application.